So, right before Thanksgiving, there were some news about celebrities and wading into the Israel-Hamas war. One of them I think she just phrased herself badly, and the other one, turns out she's anti-Semitic. Anyway, well, before we continue, welcome to my channel. My name is Susan, and on this channel I usually tackle culture war issues in the under the lens of current events, like when there's legislation passed that hinders people's rights, or the opposite, that was prevented. So anyway, today I'm taking on the Israel-Hamas war again, and again it's under the lens of people who really probably should think before they open their mouths, whether they're bigoted or whether they're going to accidentally sound like one. Probably should, not, pay attention to what you're saying. But anyway, let's get to the article. More artists are facing consequences for their comments about Israel's bombardment of Gaza. Academy Award winner Susan Sarandon, had been dropped by her talent agency, and actor Melissa Barrera has been fired from the movie Scream 7. And let's see if you can figure out which one I think is the anti-Semite and which one who I think just didn't choose her words correctly. Alright. At a rally in New York, Sarandon told attendees, "There are a lot of people that are afraid of being Jewish at this time, and are getting a taste of what it feels like to be a Muslim in this country, so often subjected to violence." Really? Jews never in a million years know what it's like to have violence done against them. Now, I'm not sure if she's talking about, in this country, if she's talking about Palestine or if she's referring to the U.S. Either way, what? Because I do not condone how Israel's treating Gaza, but at the same time, Holocaust, anyone? And anti-Semitism and violence against Jews have been going on since forever. So I don't know what she's talking about. Yes, there are plenty of Jews who treat Palestinians horribly, and given the Jewish people's history of violence and a Holocaust, you would think that they would not do that. But to treat it like this is some just desserts because the Israeli government is bombing the hell out of Gaza right now, I'm sorry. Would you like to be considered a Trumper because the U.S. elected Trump, and hopefully just the one time? No? Well, yeah, you might not want to paint all Jews under the same brush, because what the hell? Even if these Jews were directly responsible with what's happening in Palestine, in that they emigrated from Israel, even if that were the case, not all Jews agree with it. But most of these Jews, they don't come from Israel. They were either born here, or maybe they emigrated from Europe, but not necessarily Israel. So Again, what are you talking about? That reminds me of the Bible verse, I think it was in Luke, where basically the Jews were to be, all Jews, generations in memoriam, are going to be blamed for that generation's Jews crucifying Jesus. No, that's not how this works. It should not be a collective guilt. I mean, acknowledging that your ancestors were dicks, sure, but no? Anyway, let's continue. A spokesperson for United Talent Agency confirms they no longer represent Sarandon. Well, that didn't take long. Of course, I've read somewhere that she also was sharing anti-Semitic memes from Roger Waters, which, believe me, Pink Floyd fans are just crushed that this is what he's become. But, yeah, so it wasn't just that one line. Apparently, she said other stuff, but either way. So, moving on. Melissa Barrera, who starred in 2 of the Scream movies, has been calling for an end to the violence on social media, which sounds fine. According to Variety, in a now expired Instagram story, she wrote that Western media only shows the Israeli side, and as the Hollywood Reporter noted, that Gaza is currently being treated like a concentration camp. Okay, 2 things. The reason why most Western media is concentrating on the Israeli side is because that's the side they can get. You know, they don't get, but they do tell a lot of the stories of Gazans that are trapped in Gaza, or who have family members who are trapped in Gaza. So no, it's not just the Israeli side. It's just that when it comes to, say, countering what Hamas says, all we have is the Israeli side. They make sure that the Western media sees what they want them to see. It is the Gazan media that send out what they can about what's happening in Gaza. So, we have that a lot of Western media can't even get into Gaza. Now, but I don't think that's the part that got her into trouble. At least I hope that's not the part that got her into trouble, because she's not completely wrong. She's not right, but she's not completely wrong. However, currently being treated like a concentration camp. Now, open air prison works better because I think that's what she's going for. But yeah, using Holocaust imagery doesn't necessarily win you any fans, especially when you're using it against Jews. Now, you can debate whether that should be, whether people should be walking on eggshells, that somehow, you cannot compare anything that the Jews do to anything that the Nazis did. However, yeah, she probably could have used a different phrasing there, which is why I'm thinking, I don't think she's anti-Semitic, unlike some people. I think she just, I don't know, maybe I'm giving her too much credit. Maybe she really did meet concentration camp and she understood what she was saying. But it's also entirely possible that that's just what came to her mind because, Jews, Holocaust. So, as opposed to, say, an internment camp, like what happened to the Japanese in the U.S. So there are other ways she could have phrased that which kind of meant the same thing or similar, without invoking the Holocaust. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that that wasn't intentional. Maybe I'm giving her too much credit. So, we have zero tolerance for anti-Semitism or the incitement of hate in any form. Screen producer Spyglass Media Group wrote in a statement to Variety, including false references to genocide, ethnic cleansing, Holocaust distortion, or anything that flagrantly crosses the line into hate speech. Okay, now, she, at least in that statement that I've seen, she did not reference genocide, nor ethnic cleansing, well, kind of, sort of, because she did mention the concentration camp. And let's face it, they are bombing the hell out of Gaza, so, or at least they were until this ceasefire. Holocaust distortion, she mentioned concentration camps, but I don't think she intended to distort the Holocaust. I think that that's what came to mind. Again, maybe I'm giving her too much credit. Maybe she truly did know what that was going to, what that optics was going to look like. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. So yeah. Let's see if there's anything else. Let me see if there's anything about... Yeah, fans are not happy that she was fired. And I do not blame them, because even though I've never seen Scream, I just... I don't think that her heart was in a hateful place. She just didn't express herself very well. Again, unlike Sarandon, who knew damn well what she was doing. So, either because she's old enough to know that this is not the first time that there's been anti-Semitic violence. So, and that it doesn't necessarily have to be caused by what's happening in Israel and Palestine. So, yeah. Let's see. Now, again, both of them signed an open letter to Biden calling for a ceasefire. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with calling for a ceasefire, which, again, this happened before the ceasefire was actually established. But the way they went about it was in completely opposite directions. So... let's see. Let me see if there's anything else. Let's see if no, that is all for that article. But yeah, the Scream 7 firing, that bugs me, because she's being punished for having an opinion. Susan Sarandon, yeah, you want to fire her for being a bigot, go for it. I'm not going to defend Susan Sarandon. That's a business decision. That is them looking at and saying, yeah, she's become toxic. We don't want to be associated with her. Melissa Barrera, she tried to be very nuanced. I think I saw one post of hers on Instagram. And she tried to be very nuanced. Yes, she was going hard on the Israeli government for what they're doing in Gaza. But it's not like she was saying that, that Jews are evil, that this never happened, or any nonsense like that. It was just that use of concentration camp. I'm pretty sure if she did not use that word, if she didn't use that phrase, if she said internment camp or open air prison or whatever, literally any other term, she would have been fine. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there are entertainment companies, like I saw this one spokesman say, that they do they are punishing celebrities for taking a stand. I mean, I guess that's possible that if they took a stand that, Palestine should be wiped off the map, that they would have been just as, well, that's just as worthy of being demonized, but that it wouldn't have mattered what side they were on, or even if, in the case of Melissa Barrera, nuanced. They don't want their celebrities talking about, which I don't understand why. They're human beings. They are part of this planet, part of this society. I don't see why they shouldn't have an opinion. Now, if the opinion turns out to be toxic, yeah, by all means, step away. But if it's a nuanced opinion, an opinion where they show that they understand that this isn't a one-sided conflict, that there's shit on both sides, I don't see why that's a problem. As long as they're not advocating against one minority or the other, I fail to see the problem. So that's all I have on that one. This is you can consider this my contribution of Black Friday. For those of you outside the U.S., Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving in the U.S. where, how did I see it put? Where the day after you give thanks for what you have, you go trample somebody for that big sale because you have to have it. Yeah, that's basically Black Friday. So, in the spirit of trampling over people, I'm trampling over Susan Sarandon because, yeah, she can go fuck herself. I'm sorry. I used to like her, but if she's going to be an anti-Semite, no. Again, until I get more information that Melissa Barrera, and she did come out and say that she's against both anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. So it makes me think that she did truly try to be nuanced and just used bad word choice. So yeah, hopefully her career gets back on track. So I've rambled on long enough, and with that, I will see you guys in the next video.